Yeah, raise my phone volume up. Hi everyone, welcome to Sunday night, Kats Creations, where we're going to be making something super fun. I don't know why my tablet just went off. Everything's not working. Hang on just 1 second. I don't need all this stuff. What the heck? Why is it asking me to log into Facebook? What the heck? Let me ixnay that, ixnay this. Everything. Okay, Facebook, just seriously stop. Okay, so now you guys can see me live. I can't wait to show you what we're going to do today because I'm trying to find creative solutions to a potential limitation in our supplies. So tonight I wanted to teach you how to utilize 2 Dollar Tree candy cane wreaths, the frames, to make a great swag that will be the base for a really big, I think the end dimensions are 26 inches by the time we finish. Right now, the current dimensions are, hold on a second, roughly between 20 and 21 inches, so 20 and a half is the longest point. So I'm gonna show you how to create the frame, how to put it all together. Then we're gonna add our pipe cleaners. Then we're gonna go ahead and add our mesh. We're doing a plush ghost, which is out of stock everywhere. Amazon, Craft Outlet, Reshop, everybody, for at least the next 90 days, which really puts a hamper on things because if you think about it, July, August, September, October, that's right into October. Who's gonna buy a Halloween wreath when Halloween is like a week or two away? So hopefully that changes. I happen to have one left over from last year, so let me show you how to put these things together. Before I do that, if you're new here, let us know. We'd like to welcome you. Hopefully you can find a fellow crafting connection here on a Facebook Live. If you want to be notified when we go live, like if you forget what times, as long as you're on your phone and you're browsing social media, you should get notified as long as you hit the like and follow button. And then from there, go ahead and click on the video like you're watching now. Hit the 3 dots in the upper right hand corner. That allows you to open up another sub menu on this particular live. And you can make sure that your live notifications are turned on. So if it says turn off, then you're already set. You're good. If you are on YouTube, this is a Sunday night Facebook Live from Sunday. Let me think about the date. July 18th of the year 2021, because some people watch these much later. And if you guys want to get notified or want to participate in the Facebook Live, catch me Sundays at 6 Pacific or on Fridays at 5 Pacific. And then you can do the other time frames for Central and Eastern or anywhere else that you happen to be joining us. So let's get started. So a lot of people have a lot of the candy cane frames left over from Dollar Tree last year. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the tags from our 2 frames. We'll toss those in the trash. And then what you're going to do is Steve's going to go ahead and tilt the camera down so you guys can actually see what I'm doing a little bit better. And he'll just double check that. Hi, Patty. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Maria. Thanks for joining. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take 1 candy cane frame. You want to make sure that it's the rounded side up. And if you notice, they kind of almost line up. Well, we're going to force them to line up. So the first thing you're going to want to do is start with the easy one without the bend in it, the straight part. So the straight part is going to go on top of the edge of our little curve as it's coming around. So we're going to put those and stack them on top of each other. I am going to take a 6-inch zip tie. I know you brought me the black ones, but technically you needed 8, you brought me 6. Plus I'll need them for the Deco mesh. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go side to side right in the middle. So you want to make sure you get both of those. Zip tie one on top of the other. We're going to do that on the opposite side. This way there's no like up and down movement. that up. And then we want to do bottom right here, just to make sure they all stay where they're supposed to. And we can actually take that and let's see if we can get that to flip around to the other side. It's not necessary because we're gonna have so much stuff on the outside, so I'm not really worried about where those wind up. This one unsnapped or came off. That was this piece that just went flying. And it happens from time to time with our zip ties. We have a defective one. Okay, so that takes care of one side. Now, what we're gonna do is once you get that side in, you're gonna be able to go ahead and get this side going. Let's pull the zip ties out first, just in case we go beyond. So we're gonna do those in the same spots. And we're putting them right down the middle. So I'm gonna get my zip tie started and kind of put it in place where it needs to go. That's right where I want it. We will go ahead and put another one here and here, because there's a lot of tension on that, because they're not perfectly like, what, 90-degree angle. And then we're gonna do, see, I knew that one was gonna snap. You just kind of have a feeling. Some of them just are not 100%. Okay, then side to side. I'm gonna push this one a little bit more to the inside.
Okay, Linda said I got lucky and got a few of those right after Christmas.
That's really good. And then I'm going to do this side. And then I'll snap these ones off. And then that way it'll keep everything nice and snug. So now you have created a circular hanger, right? Thank you, an oval hanger. Just want to make sure I have two out for the swag. Okay, now we have to get this ready for our deco mesh. So right now, the way that this is, it lines up right at 25, like 24.5 inches. So once we add our deco mesh, it's going to give us a little bit. So people might say, okay, well, this is a great design, but you told us don't put it in anything larger than a 24 6-inch box. So when you look at this right here, where the edge of the white is, that is the edge of the 24-inch mark. What is interesting is, yes, it feels crunched right here, but what happens is when you put it on a diagonal, now you have plenty of space. And that's the way it's going to fit in your shipping box. It's going to go side to side or corner to corner, corner to opposite corner, and then you have plenty of space. Here, too tight, put it on an ankle, and you going from here to the edge of my mat, edge mat here, you have plenty of space. So now we need to take our pipe cleaners, and I'm just gonna color coordinate because I like the color coordination. So I'm gonna do the inside ones first. We are actually going to be doing 12 on the inside. So we're going right in the middle of every single section. So there's one. Let's do white. Here is 2, 3. So right in the center, and I'm wiring together the 2 innermost rails here. Going around the corner. Here's another one. We're going to rotate this and go back to white. And back to our black. This will also help Keep those sections where we've wired everything together nice and tight. We'll go back here. So we're just doing it right in the center of every section. So this should make it really easy to remember how to do this, or how to set up this particular type of a frame for you.
Miller said that's so creative.
Isn't that crazy? So I did it last year for the first time. I made a gingerbread girl. She came out adorable. And so I was like, ooh, we need to do it with the ghost this year. So the ghost is debuting. And then we're back here to finish up. Now let me just double check that I've used and I have the correct count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pipe cleaners just on the inside. Now when we do the outside, because we have a greater area, you know, we're trying to keep them about every 2 to 3 inches apart. When you get around to the outside to go from here to here, that's a lot of space. So we're going to add some extras to our corners. So when we set this up now, we are going to do it on the welds. So same thing, we're wiring together the outside two, and we're putting these on the welds only. It should give us a grand total of 14 if we wire it correctly. So I'm kind of doing these as like a little cross so that they don't slide as much. They're still gonna slide, but hopefully keep it to a minimum.
And Anna said, Kat, hello, you're so creative and everything you make is amazing.
I have to say that this idea came from Gail. She's in our private group. She told me about this method, I want to say, was it last year? I think last year. Let's see if I do this. Let me add my black one here so I can make sure the count is correct. So.
Well, Lily said, hope you're feeling a lot better. Do you still use those little hooks to hold the wreaths in the place when shipping?
The adhesive ties? Yeah, I do. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
You can find those
5.
at Home Depot.
Is that right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Pam said, is there a reason you're color coding the pipe cleaners?
I like to.
You like to?
I just do. So I'm going to go ahead and do one here. So I'm not going to do right here on the edge. I'm just going to put one kind of again in the center of that because it's just such a wide gap. Go back to our orange, back on our welds. Then we're back here. It just looks nice for me. I don't know. You don't have to. You can do all black. You can do all white. Sometimes it kind of coordinates with whatever ribbon I might be using, you know, at the very end. So the colors for this one are going to be our traditional orange, white, and black. One right in the center again. And then we're going to do orange. Let me make sure I got these correct as far as the counts go. So let me just double check. So I'm going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We'll go with 13. Should be 14, but somewhere along the line, I think I added an extra one. I'm just making sure. Weld.
You missed that black one.
No, hold on. I'm doing it right here. This is what I missed. There's one that I have off. So this is supposed to technically go on the weld. Remember, outsides go weld. I started putting them on the inside. So let's get this one down, and then it should come out correctly. That's what it was. back here, welds to the outside except the corners or the ends. Now it'll come out correct. Okay. Trying to make sure that our pipe cleaner stays straight so that we have plenty of space. Okay, now we're at 14. Okay, so now the frame is set up. So remember, welds to the outside, middles to the inside. So I said I was going to teach you how to use your 21-inch mesh in another method. So this is going to be how to do it to create a swag, a door swag, or a pillar post, or whatever you might want to call it. So 21-inch roll of Deco mesh. This is orange and black, despite the color it may show up on camera. We are going to poof this. We're going to do inside, outside only, no secondary down the middle. This mesh came from Craft Outlet. When I looked up the same item number, I wasn't finding it, and I don't see it on any of the other sites. They have a different blend of orange and black stripe, but they're whiter. So I don't know if they're carrying this anymore. It's my last roll that I have, so I thought we'd use it here. The easiest way to poof is to take your 21-inch roll, and I'm going to drop it down, and then we need to confine the frays. So the only place it's going to fray is where it's cut, because we're dealing with finished edges. So here's all this, and I'm not going to worry about the crazy pieces hanging over, but you do want to kind of keep it all combined. And then, knowing me, the way that I poof, I go this way. So I'm going to start with the inside. So the easiest way to do that is to push all your outside pipe cleaners down. That way they don't get in your way while you're working the inside. And mine is just preference. I prefer to start on the inside. So I'm going to take this, go right in between my two middle ones. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to take this mess and start right here on my cross beam with a zip tie. And I'm going to kind of confine. This is my starting point. So I'm going to take all this, zip tie that together. And then if I need to, just to kind of clean that up a little bit, cut the ends of it off. We're going to snip the end of our zip tie. And now we're ready to poof. And I'm going to continue to do 10-inch poofs on this. So I'm going to take it, measure out my 10 inches, make sure my mesh is not folded over on itself, because that's what you want. You want a nice, cute little bubble. I'm going to open this one up, trying to get it all unstuck from each other. We're going to come in right here and go ahead and secure the first poof, just like this. And then I'm going to pull this out and do another 10. Make sure everything's open, because it always has a habit of twisting. And I'm going to open this one. We're going to take that poof, put it right on the inside, give it a couple twists so it doesn't come undone. Here's another 10.
So the frame is actually two candy cane frames zip tied together in the first section to form the oval rail.
So there's that. I'm going to pull this around because we're going around the corner. There's that. Another 10. See how it likes to fold? You don't want it to fold. You want to be able to see all those bands of colors right to the inside. Another 2 good twists. 10 more inches. Let's keep this one. Push these ones to the other side. I have a tendency of getting caught up in what I'm doing. So make sure your pouf is nice. Get that in there. 2 twists. Make sure it's all nice poofed. See, like this one, kind of folded inside out almost. So that's why taking the moment, you know, taking just a little bit of time and making sure that it is not folded and that it goes where it's supposed to.
Hey gals watching on Sunday, thanks for watching. Please feel free to like and share.
Well, that's another thing. So if you like this design and you want to put this down, trust me, you will. Even if you decide to not do ghost and you want to do gingerbread man or snowman, and you'd like to put him on a much bigger rail, you know, something that is more vertical, yeah, more tall, not so wide. Maybe you have a thinner door. This is going to save you, especially if you're like me. You have some of those not grapevines, but the candy canes, and you're like, really, we can just use them for candy canes. Only it's kind of hard for us to come up with something else you can use them for. So this allows you to purchase like a case of candy canes, and then you can use these to help. Like, you don't need to buy teardrop swag. You don't have to use evergreen. You can actually use exactly what you need to make your design.
Pam said, love the idea.
See, and it's getting full.
Charlotte said, I'm loving this, oh my goodness.
So this is only us doing the inside. We haven't started with the outside yet. So it's going to create a nice long base, which is perfect for things like ghost. Not so much, I mean, the snowman, you just have a really long and tall snowman, but the gingerbread kit, the elf kit, Santa, something to where you want longer dimensions. And what I did not that long ago is I wired up a 14-inch frame and showed you, if you want, you can go back and watch the gingerbread girl Christmas wreath, and I show you what happens if you were to take that and work it on a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame, how squished everything is. You can still make it work, it's just kind of squished. Last one to my inside. So making sure everything is nice and poofy, and then we're gonna jump to the outside. So here's my last one.
Pam said she made a Valentine wreath kind of like that, putting 2 candy canes together, but you know, on an angle.
Yeah.
She said it came out, it was huge when done.
See, sometimes we can get creative on how we can use it, but then it becomes, it's too big to ship. This would be super cute too if you did a witch, like you did a witch hat, maybe a broom this way, and then the feet out the bottom. That would be super cute too.
And we've shipped this in a 24 by 24 inch box because the corner to corner dimensions, I think, it's 31 inches, I believe.
I just showed you on the thing.
Yeah.
We'll verify it. So now I'm going to the outside. So I'm not going to the one directly in front. I'm going to the one a little bit too, like one step up. Because remember, we're doing them on the welds, and the insides were in the middle. So now,
Cheryl asked, could you ever do the poofs in different sizes, like 10 inches on the inside and 12 inches on the outside?
you could. There's no, there's no right and wrong. This is just like what has worked for me.
As long as you can run it out and not be shorted on the Deco mesh, right?
Yeah, even if you wanted to go smaller on the inside, you could. You'll still have more than enough. And you'll still have more than enough once we're out here. So now we're going wider to the outside. Not any wider per se. We're just now adding more to the outside. Right now it's just skinny with our Deco mesh just done on the inside. So I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what ends up happening if you need a rail and you can't get a teardrop swag, or you can't find what would be considered like a rail, just like a straight piece with your pipe cleaners on it. This is backup. This is, hey, I can still do this and keep on going. I don't have to be limited, you know, to, hey, I really wanted to, you know, make this, but I needed a rail and now I don't have one. Yeah, you do, actually. You just keep going. Okay, we're down that side. We're kind of coming up. I'm going to take my pipe cleaners again and pull them to the outside so I know where those are at for our ribbon.
Well, thank you, Sharon. Sharon sent 50 stars.
Oh yeah, I was going to tell you guys about stars. So stars, you see the little star icon at the bottom of your mobile device or your computer. Stars are basically like a way of sending a tip. So for every star, it's basically 1 cent. So if you sent 50 stars, it's like a 50-cent tip. So those are helpful because it's kind of crazy. You know, when you're looking at how much does Facebook pay, it's really hard to make money on Facebook. Really hard.
Linda, yeah, Kat has videos on using a whole roll of 21-inch Deco mesh for a poof. In a private group, she has it in a public group too, on just doing a poof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's called the third rail. So I'm just taking my time as well, making sure that, you know, I've got my outside pieces where they need to be, making sure I'm fluffing all my poofs. You can see how it's getting fluffier. And see how it's folded. I'm having to work my hand in there. Make sure I have my pipe cleaner set up. Come in. Trying to get those as close to the center of my pipe cleaner as possible, because then that gives me as much, you know, to put your ribbons, your embellishments, whatever you need to put in there.
Mm-hmm.
You have that pipe cleaner set up.
Cheryl, yeah, once she's done putting in all the poofs, she can hold it up and turn it around so you can see the back.
And
how she put the two candy canes together.
Well,
Plus
not
this will
only
be
that,
available at the end.
yeah. At the end, it'll automatically go to replay, and then I walk you through how to put them together, how to zip tie them, and then where to lay out your pipe cleaners. Because otherwise, if we keep going back, then our live becomes like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Thank you, Mary. She tagged a bunch of other people, said, "Cat, love watching you make beautiful wreaths."
Oh, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Yeah, share the video. Like I said, I watched my own video because I was like, how did I lay out my pipe cleaners? Did I use 10-inch mesh or 21-inch mesh? Did I do one roll? Did I do the third roll? So yeah, I watched my own lives.
Patty Crane said this will work out great for my skeletons with the hats.
Yes,
Oh,
see?
cute.
Anything that is long that you might ordinarily use rails for. You know, it'd be super cute if you had a, like a directional signpost as a sign. Just anything that you want to go more vertical.
Debbie has how many pipe cleaners? So you got 10 on the inside and
I had 12 on the inside and 14 on the outside for a grand total of
26.
Yeah, I had to think about that. Yep, 26, which is the last. Okay, we're coming up. And see how right now you don't, like, you may have thought, well, that mesh is a little thin. She might want to go back in and do the third roll. No need to do it. You want to keep it. You don't want it to go crazy big and fluffy. You're still going to need to be able to get it into a box and ship it. And we're down to our last, I think we have 3 more to fit in here. So I don't know if I would have enough mesh, because normally I'm only like on an 18. We only usually do 18. I probably would not have enough because I'm looking at it starting to lift off the bottom. I might not have, if I was to go back and try to do a third rail, I don't think I'd have enough.
Lily, I think she's in the private group. Lily Proctor.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Allie, yes.
Are you still reviewing Etsy and Facebook businesses for us? I know it has nothing to do with this. I just wanted to really ask you that.
Probably because July is the last ones for business class, and then in August it's full design. So it goes from 4 design class 4/ business classes, and then it goes to a full 8 design. Because then we have to get ready for our busy season. So 2 more. So, okay, have my black, and then we have to join with where we started. Okay, so in here. What do you think of the base so far? Do you think it's pretty full, pretty fluffy?
Yeah, a lot of them says beautiful. Yeah, it is really cool.
Okay, last one. And then I'll show you exactly how much mesh I had left. I don't think I would have enough to go the 3rd time to backfill. Trying to get this to stop holding. For the pipe. Okay, here's the last one. So I really need to get that in. Okay. Now, this is exactly what I have left out of my 21-inch mesh. Just that. So you can see I pretty much used the entire roll. There's not going to be anything left over that I'm like, oh, that's such a waste. Should I keep it? No. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off just so that I can get it to the inside much easier than this giant piece. Okay, so we're going to take this. We are going to...
Catherine, that's just 1 roll of 21-inch mesh.
I'm flipping this over, stuffing this back in. So back up, gotta get all those pieces in there. Need to pull all that frayed mesh. This is where I started. This is where I'm ending. So I literally made it all the way around on the inside, all the way around on the outside. I had one. It probably fell on the floor. So we'll zip tie this.
And then if this one is so full, you wouldn't even need to go around the 3rd time.
You won't have enough mesh.
Right.
You saw exactly what I had. There's not enough because you're going in, because we don't even go in like twice around an 18-inch. We only go like every other one. Remember, because we're jumping inside outside. Right. So this one's good. So let's trim that, give it a little bit of a haircut. So that's both where we started and stopped. So as you can see, 2 candy canes, end to end, zip tied together. So for those of you that want to watch that again, just hang tight. Once we finish this, then it'll go to replay, and then you can kind of watch how it goes together. Share it to your page if you think you're going to put this together. Like we will be doing something similar for our gingerbread. I don't think I'll do it. I might do it for an elf, like an elf wreath. I'm just pulling my pipe cleaners to the outside so it makes it much easier to find them when we need to add our ribbon. Okay, super fun. So now this measures about 32 inches long. It is about 17 inches wide. Again, remember our right here is the end of our box. So we're right in that 24-inch box. Perfect space. So you would never want to go greater than 10 inches because then you're pushing your design out just a tad too much. And then you're going to go into a 26-inch box, which could put you in that, it's a different threshold. It's like an oversized differential rate on the postal side, and then it gets way too expensive to do. So we want to keep it down. Okay.
Well, you could also put those as centerpiece.
Huh? Yeah, you could. Except he'd be laying down. So this is the ghost kit. So you get the top ghost, and you get the bottom. So he's actually going to have a separation. Why? Because the whole bow is going to fix this disconnected ghost kind of thing. So he's going to kind of sit like so. And then there's going to be this giant, really nicely full Halloween bow. So the first thing we want to do is attach him, but we got to cut the tags off. So we're going to go ahead and slice that one off. And this one does not have it. And I want him up pretty high. And we want his bottom pretty low, right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and add him. He does have 3 wires on the back. So that's how it's going to anchor down into our frame. So I'm going to start with the top one. Get that to go all the way down through all those layers of mesh. This way he won't pop up.
He's already saying, boo.
Right? Okay, so there's his head. So we'll give him a couple spins. Then we've got to take it here. This is going to anchor more. I'm going to actually remove my pipe cleaners right here and the one underneath him on the inside because we're almost not going to need those. So I'm going to move this one. So this is the one at the top. We're also going to remove this one here. And we have one in here. Basically, we probably could have saved time and just removed the inside ones, but you never know. So I'm going to remove this one as well, because this is where our bow will go. It's going to fill up the whole space in the middle. It'll also make your ghost be a little longer than, you know, kind of where the attachment is. Okay.
Yeah, the Ghost is sold out right now, both at Craft Outlet and the Wreath Shop, but you might just keep searching. You might be able to find those things somewhere.
I looked before we started our live, and I couldn't find them anywhere. I went to Amazon. The only place I did not check was Etsy and eBay. maybe. You know, somebody's selling them because they have extra. So let me get his arms anchored down. And this one, you can actually pull them pretty snug. You know, you don't want to have hurricane force winds trying to lift him out of there. We'll go to the other side. Get this end down.
So yes, just really quickly, I did just Google it really quick. And I do have some on Etsy, but they're, yeah, like $25.
Yeah, so I think if you were able to get them through Craft Outlet, did I write the price? I think it used to be $14.95.
$12.50.
Yeah. So if you want them, you know, you won't. Odds are, Craft Outlet, Reshop. Do I think they'll get them in time? I don't. So you want to be making them now anyway. I'm going to go ahead and remove my insides ones here.
I just Googled another one. It says there's one on burlapboutique.com for $17.50 or $17.95.
So just Google it and look on Etsy.
Just Google it. Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, you just kind of have to think outside of the box. Google is going to be your best friend trying to find supplies if you want them. You know, I've gone to eBay to get things, Amazon, Etsy. Okay, so we're just removing, because we have a pretty big bow. Two more, and then we can add in his bottom. And I really wanted to focus on him and his colors, which is why I didn't want to go like orange, black, and white. Why I didn't want to incorporate more white into the wreath base, because I really wanted him to stand out alone. So I stayed with the traditional Halloween colors and kind of went with that. Okay, let's add his bottom. So his bottom comes with, it's almost a waist, but you have two. So I'm going to kind of go right in here. This space is going to be my bow. So it makes him look a little bit longer than what he is. The only downside about this is they kind of fold the ends over and they make like little fish hooks. What that ends up doing is while you're trying to work this down into the bottom of your mesh, it gets caught on everything that you don't want it to. So I snip the ends off so that I'm dealing with just the blunt edges. And getting that down right there. You always want to make sure you hit your frame. Give them a couple twists. This wire here on the bottom is a lot thicker than the wire was on the top. Good. Oh yeah, this bottom one is really thick wire. This is probably 20 or 24 gauge wire. Really thick. There's that one. Let's get this down to the bottom. Look at his bottom, situated, and then we can bend the wire. Now the wire goes all the way down into his tail, so you can kind of, if you needed to, not really pose him, but you can kind of, like I'm putting a little arch in him, because otherwise since there's no wire down here, this has a tendency of sticking up. So I'm kind of bending it down so it forms to the frame a little bit better. So let's make our bow. We'll set him over here. We are going to be using, obviously, solid black and solid white. We have ghost print ribbon. We have Boo Ekin Spooky, orange and black and white, and then we have more of these. So with this, I think I want the orange to be at the bottom. Then we're gonna do this. We're probably gonna come in here. Then we'll do black. No, do I want to do it this way? Let's do orange, then this, then black, and then we'll finish with the film strip. So this is the way that I'm laying my ribbon out as I'm building my bow. So I'm going to set these ones aside. We'll start with this one, and we're going to do, I think if I do 10 inches, which is right here, yeah, it's going to be perfect. But this one is a little bit different because the wording is all same direction. So before we do this, we need to dovetail our edge, which is bring your wired edges together. We're going to cut from the fold, depending upon how deep you want the V. If you start low, you'll have a shallow V. If you start up top, then you get really nice defined points, which is what I like. So we're going to start there. Now, in order to keep our ribbon all going in the same direction, which at this stage of the game might look a little lopsided, just based on how they ran the roll of ribbon here. We'll try it. We'll figure it out. If we need to reverse it, you know, and redo it, we'll try there. So we're going to go 10-inch tail. You're going to pinch right at the 10-inch mark. I'm going to put the bow aside. Then what you're going to do is take what you have in your right hand and give it to your left hand. Okay, then we want a 5.5-inch loop, which means I need to measure out 11 inches from here. So I'm going to move this down to the start finish line. I'm going to measure out 11 inches. I'm going to pinch again right here because that gives me a 5.5-inch loop. I'm going to take what's in my left hand and give it to my right hand. Okay, I'm going to go back to the start finish line. We're going to measure out another 11 inches. We're going to do the same thing, right to left. We're just passing it off. And then we need to measure out 10 inches here to finish this off. I'll dovetail that once I get rid of what's in my hand. So in here, we need to make sure that everything is going roughly in the same direction. So if I pull these around, see, this is the only thing I was looking at. I'm going to have spooky one way and spooky the other. It should not have turned out that way. And I'm thinking, because if we look, we're doing everything sideways. There's really no way to get this to turn around and go upside down. Because they're doing it on a, it's not going like horizontal, it's going more vertically. So there's really no way to kind of do this unless I cut it and then just extend this by itself as a separate piece, which you could do. So let's say we do. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Okay, right here. I'm going to go ahead and stick this in my bow dabber, and what I'm looking to do is make a tail in which my ribbon goes that way. But remember, the way my ribbon's coming out, it's upside down. It's been spooled the different way. So if I was to dovetail this, we're still back up to upside down. So I need to measure out a little bit greater than 10 inches. I'm going to go 13. Just so I have something to hold inside the bow dabber. I am going to dovetail the correct end. Okay. Then this is my tail going the same direction. I'm going to now measure this right at 10 inches. And then this is going to go inside my bow dabber. So that technically everything is going in the same direction. This we won't necessarily worry about because it's going to be in the center of our bow anyway. We're going to dovetail this side. Let's cut that down just a little bit more. I always err on the generous side rather than cut it and go, it kind of came up a little bit short. Because now we're going to take our ghost.
Yeah, Kim Thompson said there's a few of them on Etsy.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, they're all around $25 to $30, but if you want it, it's available.
Yeah. Sadly, sometimes when the demand goes up, right, it gets costly. So this one's going to be 9.5 inches. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're only going to do 5-inch loops, ghost to ghost. Measure out another 10 in here. And then we're going to make sure our ghosts, which are going upside down now. See, we're running into the same problem when you go horizontal. So I want to fix that. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut this one a little shy. We're going to go ahead and stuff this in our Bodabra for now to hold it. I'm going to make sure all my ribbon tails are where they need to be. We're going to do the same thing. Cut another 13-inch piece. This was the splicey dicey ribbon, but this is the only way we can make sure that our ribbon is all going the same direction. Normally when you do it and you have the wording, it's all written on the horizontal, not the vertical. So now we're being challenged in how can we keep the vertical here staying vertical. So 10 inches, well actually 9.5. We're going to pinch this in. I'm going to take this down just a touch. We're going to go ahead and stick this inside our Bodabra. So now our ribbon is all going in the correct direction. That is our only way to remedy it. Otherwise, you're going to have ghosts going up and then ghosts going down, upside down. So now we are going to go with orange. And this is going to be 9-inch tails with 4.5-inch loops. So this way I can actually build it in the Bodabra. So I'm just going to lay that in. We're going to do about 4.5, or what I think is 4.5 inches. I'm going to bring my Bodabra back on the 10. So I'm looking at the top where it's divided. And then I can easily measure out, does this go 4.5? And it does. We will now flip it around. Verify the other side. This one's a little longer. Yeah, it's going like almost 5. There's 4.5. And then we want a 9-inch tail. And I'm not worried about the ribbon popping up. It's only doing that because the ghost ribbon is so thick with the paint on the canvas that it's pushing everything up. We'll just push everything back down. Just like so. Okay, there's that. This one's away. Now we will do our hex or diagonal plaid. And this one is going to be 8.5-inch tails, 4.5-inch loop. So we can do these ones here, 8.5, twist, put it inside your Bodabra. Because we've already measured the orange one, all we have to do is put our fingers in the orange, fingers in the plaid, and then just pull. Do the same thing to the other side. And then measure out your tail. So 8.5 is what we said. Okay. There's that.
Any questions so far?
I'm like, wow, there's ribbon on the floor. Okay, these are done. we're gonna add our black canvas, which will be 8-inch tails and with 4-inch loops. So we're right at the 8. We need to measure out 4-inch loops. Just like so. Make sure everything's the same. It just makes for nicer bows if everything is the same on both sides with your measurements. So I'm always double checking everything. Right there. 8. And then our last one will be 7.5-inch tails with 3.5-inch loops. And I'll tell you where all the ribbon came from. So the big 50-yard spools are from Kringle Designs. I love buying solid colors in larger quantities because they'll use them more often than you think. The Ghost and the other one, Steve, where are these from? The 2.5-inch ribbon.
The spooky 2.5-inch spooky ribbon is from Craft Outlet.
Okay, and the Ghost?
The 2.5-inch black with Ghost is also from Craft
Outlet. Okay. So I don't know if they're still there, but that's where they came from. Okay, so 7.5-inch tail.
All the other 1.5 show that they're from Kringle.
From Kringle? Okay. So all the 1.5, right?
Yep.
Okay. There we go. Make sure. And then back out to 7. Okay. This one's gonna have lots of ribbon. Lots of ribbon. There's that. Okay. Let's get black as what's gonna hold all of this together. So we're gonna push down before I pull everything out. So I really wanna compress that like a really big club sandwich with the extra bread. I always say that because I always hate the sandwich with the extra bread because it's always like too much. You can't quite get it all in. So you have to compress everything. So we're gonna twist the ribbon stack. It's easier on your hands. And then we're gonna fluff it. So,
Jill Ganzak's going to buy from Craig Holt.
I don't know who Craig Holt is, or if you're thinking about Craig Bachman, you have to be a wholesaler.
Yeah.
And you're buying in quantities of 12. So if you wanted like the solid ribbon, you have to do 12 black, 12 orange, 12 ghost, 12 this. It's all in bundled quantities. So that's why people who sell the supplies are able to do it that way. So this is an 18 by 24 inch cutting board. It just has a 1.5 to 2 inch C-hook in it. So I'm just gonna take that C-hook and anchor that with my stack of ribbons. I'm just gonna twist that on there so you can see it here. So it just holds it. And then all I'm doing at this stage is separating tails from loops. And I'm starting from the bottom. So here's a loop. There's my pipe cleaner. There's my loop. There's my tail, right? Here is my tail. Here is my loop. They should be loops directly across from each other, tails directly across. We're gonna do the same thing with our ghost ribbon. So now we're pulling up with our ghost, just like so. Other side, we're pulling our tail out to the side, pulling our loop here, and then what it's doing is it's making your loops and tails kind of alternating colors. So we're not fluffing, we're just separating. Now we're doing the same thing. So we're gonna do our orange. I'm gonna let it go on top of the black and white rather than continuously like on top of the orange, because then, I don't know, it kind of looks funky. As a designer, you can change how you lay things out. You just have to make sure that you're consistent on the opposite side. So I'm gonna do these. We're gonna go over here and I'm going to pull this. Here's my loop. I'm gonna let the black stay on the opposite side so I don't have solid on solid. So here is that. Back over to the other side. And then from here, we're here. And then we are here. Now is when you start your fluffing. This is where you get to position your ribbons whichever direction you want. Because he is more of a, we don't want the ribbons in his face. So I'm gonna take a lot of the larger ribbon and I'm gonna move it down to the bottom, like the ghost. I'm just gonna move that down. Otherwise it'll be up in his face. But I'm gonna leave these separate. So alternating colors on the other sides. We're gonna open those up, put our fingers in and really open them up. We're gonna do the same thing with all of our ribbon. We can kind of leave some of these shorter tails to be wherever we want them to be. You can bring them down. You can bring them to the sides, kind of whichever way you want. I think on these two, I'm gonna have them come straight down. With this one, and I think with my orange, because it'll be up in my ghost face, I'm gonna have it come out to the side more. So same thing here. Just designer preference. So I'm gonna have the loops up where the tails would necessarily go. So I'm gonna mix these up. Bring this over. I'm gonna bring my tail up, bring these down, fan these out a bit more. There we go. I like that. Make that one come down a bit more. So, this is how the bow is going to go when we look at the ghost. So my head would be where the ghost head's going to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove it off my hook. Put this away. Okay. Now let's get this anchored in to our design. So we're gonna pull our pipe cleaner down. It's gonna fit right in that big space. It's basically like right where his gut is. So I think what I wanna do is I wanna extend my pieces just a little bit, because remember we're doing this on a rail. So I have one on one side, the other on the other. So I'm just gonna extend my pipe cleaners, and what I mean is I'm just adding like a 6-inch extension to them. So I'm just kind of taking my ends, kind of do a little crisscross, and then just wrap it so that you have a little bit longer pipe cleaners. Then we can flip it over, and now I know I have more than enough to get into the center. This side, trying to find my edge. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead, I know this is gonna crush my bow, but I'm just gonna wrap these around the frame, just temporarily. Now I gotta go refluff. But it's not going to be a cataclysmic fluff. Okay. There's that. Get all those tails that come down. Oh no, I already got them.
Good?
They're over there.
Okay.
Yeah, way ahead of you. Thinking ahead. This one over here. Okay. So now, look. Now he's like, babe. Okay. Okay. So I just don't know where you have the camera angled. So that's why I was like, hey, look. So now he feels like a little bit longer ghost. So now we're gonna go around the outside and give him some fun embellishments, which will be our tails and our ribbons. So we're gonna alternate the ghosts with the Boo Eek Beware. Save those ones for a second. These are all cut to 13-inch pieces. And we're gonna alternate the colors. So I'm taking advantage of the outside pipe cleaners. So that's where those are going. So just pick a point in which you want to start. Once I find.
He's absolutely adorable.
Thank you. So cute. I did one last year. He was black, purple, and white, and that's kind of a difficult color. I mean, it looks cool, it looks nice, but most people lean toward that traditional orange and black. So you could go purple, white, purple, white, and black. You could add, you know, Halloween colors are basically lime green, orange, black, and purple. Maybe a little bit of white. So these are kind of going in. Let me spin this around so you can kind of see where I'm going. Here's my outsides. So I'm just kind of going all the way around, alternating my ribbons, just like this. Putting them right in to your pipe cleaners, which is why having them already prepared and ready for you is key. You can decide which way you want your ghosts. Mine are going up, half of them go upside down, the other half go right side up. Okay. So we're just flipping them around. So I think it was depending upon, like I wasn't quite sure. Because when, as far as like number of ribbons, because when I did the gingerbread girl, she didn't have a ribbon in the center. She was actually holding a gingerbread cookie baking sign. And she had gingerbread cookies all over. And then to make her look more like a girl, we put a ribbon bow up here and then a ribbon bow up here. And when you stood back and looked at it, it looked like she had really like pigtails, pigtails with bows in them. So then that just kind of transformed the entire design into a gingerbread man, into a gingerbread girl, and then we had to invent a dress and bows for her skirt. So yeah, sometimes as a designer, you don't really know what it's going to look like until you finish it.
Cindy, yes, she does offer business classes in our private group for $17 a month.
Yeah, just go to KatsCreationsNMore.com.
I will post it at the bottom.
You'll pin it.
I'll pin it, yeah.
Yeah. So those, my private group, like the chenille wreath on the back door was what I taught the private group today. 3 different ways to make that. So they learned 3 different techniques. How to make a chenille yarn wreath. And then Mondays, so obviously this Monday we're going to be going over, we're prepping everything for a busy season. We need to make sure your shop or your website is ready to go, that it's stocked. And so that's the business side of it. If you've thought about going into business but just don't know where to start, come join us. There is plenty of information in there to help you get going, and then you can jump right in with us. So
Diversity, spooky cute.
Isn't he spooky cute? Yeah, he's not scary. So this is one of those, I'm not a whimsical person. I'm like a classic. He's about as whimsical as I think I would get, right?
Yeah, the gingerbread.
Yeah, the gingerbread is a little bit there. The elves, kind of. But it usually trends with, you know, was it last year? No, it wasn't in 2020. Yeah, a more classic vintage, trendy a little bit without going way over the top. Just simple. Okay, a couple more. But usually the signs or the ribbon is my inspiration. And then I just go from there. In this case, I knew it was the ghost. I wasn't sure of the color because I hadn't gone and looked at my ribbon to see, is it orange, like ghosts on orange, ghosts on black, ghosts on purple? Where are we going? Okay, so I think we'll need 2 more because I think I cut 12 because I wasn't sure where the ghost was gonna wind up, which is okay. I thought it would be 14, but wasn't 100% sure. We are making sure our deco mesh is laying the way it's supposed to. So yeah, we need 2 more. Okay, and then we are gonna vary this. We're not doing all 1.5 inches, believe it or not. We're gonna do some flex tubing and then some 1.5 inch ribbon. So let me get a 13-inch piece here. So right to here. We will dovetail these super quick. Just like so. And then we have our ghost to add in. So I want it to be very full, very thick. It's gonna have a pretty nice presence on the door. I was like, we might have to flip the door around to the black. Let me see this. Okay. Oh yeah, Linda. I totally forgot about that. So a lot of people like to do the whole year in advance and then they don't have to worry about that. You can do the year payment on the website as well. You're basically paying for 10 months and you get 2 months free. So you save $34 doing it that way. Whichever way you want to do it. Okay, last one in here. Flipping my door around. Want to watch the movie props? The movie prop door. I suggest you all have a prop door. It's great for your photos. Okay, made my ribbon go all the way around. Okay, thanks, Steve. So now we are going to take, I'm gonna have to cut 2 extra pieces for this because that leaves us, I think, okay, so we're gonna do double bows. So a double bow, and I'm gonna do it on the ghost. I think it would look better on the ghost. Just because adding a pop of orange and then a subtle black would make that look cute. So these are cut to 18-inch pieces. You take 1.5 inch ribbon, you put your dovetailed edges together and go up about 2 inches from here. So somewhere right around in there is about 2 inches, right about there. And then we're gonna do the same with a solid black. Because I wanna pop up just a little bit more darkness in, like a little darker color. And do the same thing. And then you're gonna go bow to bow. It's called a double bow. And then we're going to actually, see if I can do this where you guys can see. It's gonna be weird for me. You're gonna come in, you're gonna lay that double bow right inside your pipe cleaner, just like this. You're gonna really give it some good twists. Okay, then what you're gonna do is you always are gonna have to right side one of your ribbons. So now you have 2 tails with a black loop. I'm gonna do the same thing here. To right side that, we have 2 loops and another tail. So this is what's called a double bow. Has 4 tails, 2 loops, just like that. It's hard for me to do it leaning over the front. So when I do it, I can get it to lay where I need it to be. And then I'm going to trim down my pipe cleaners just a little bit. And what I'm going to do is on the outside pieces, I'm going to add my styrofoam balls. So it's going to kind of be a 2-step process as I'm building them, which is orange ball on one side and black ball on the other side. So that we're kind of giving it, we're going up a level. So let me show you what it looks like. So this is the finished part. So we're only doing that on the ghost part. So I'm gonna whip these through pretty quick. And I know I have 7 of those. So I cut enough for 4. Okay, side to side, flip them, tuck them in there.
A couple of girls were asking, how much would you sell this for?
When it's done, it's going to be $125. So this one is, because it's so much bigger. You're looking at a 32-inch long wreath, the big giant plush, and then all the embellishments and ribbon we're going to add to this. So yeah, this is one of my higher end ones, but this is the only one for Halloween that I'm making. So it's kind of like one of those one and done things. So yeah.
And Horace, will you have a class on the ribbon wreath behind you, the October 31st one?
We might. It'll probably be more Christmas than like we'll do one for Christmas rather than one for Halloween. Yeah. But the process is still the same. So I'm trying to find my black. They're just hard to find because they blend in with all the others. Okay. These, where did I get my styrofoam balls? Hobby Lobby, when Hobby Lobby actually carried Halloween, is where I got, you can just get plain black, and then the ones that Steve brought out, these are, Hobby Lobby sells these now. These are their, in the seasonal aisle for fall. So it has the green, which is perfect for Halloween, the orange, and then brown, which is great for fall. And then I usually just kind of throw those all together in my, what do you call them, the Glad containers, because everything can stack. So I do them based on what colors I need.
Did you already post a picture for this? Is this already available on your site?
The only thing you see is the ghost and a roll of Deco mesh, because I've never made him before, so that's all you see on the website.
But it is available
on the website only. Yeah. It's not on my Etsy shop.
Right.
So yeah, he's gonna be super cute.
Yeah, he is.
I know. I'll be like, that's usually where I have to pry things out of my daughter's hands, and they'll be like, because she was already like, oh my god, I can't wait to see what you do with this one, because she saw the purple one and she's like, I'm gonna love this. Yeah. Because it's more traditional colors.
You don't have any more ghosts either.
I don't have any more ghosts. And I don't know how I feel about spending $20 to buy another one. But what I do recommend is when they are available, even if they show up after Christmas or like right, after Halloween, that's when you pick them up. Yeah, and then you have them for next year.
Buy a couple of them.
Yeah. I always used to say buy two. Like the snowman, I already have my snowman from last year so that I don't have to struggle and try to figure out, you know, oh, there's no snowman available. How am I going to make that work? I think I have 3.
Catherine said that's a good price for such a big wreath. It is a big wreath.
It is. It's going to be huge. Like most of the ones that I've done on the rails are usually 97. So I was like, 125 is good. It's not crazy over the top. But I was like, it gives me an opportunity to really take it over the top. So he's going to have everything, and he's not even done yet. We're actually going to add a fun little embellishment to him. So, you know, because a ghost isn't just a ghost yet. Okay. I apologize. The double bows take a while to get them twisted. And then I'm trying to do the dual purpose of, let me add the styrofoam balls to the end, which will get glued on after we stop going live. Looking for some bigger orange ones. There's one. Okay. Now I have to cut 1, 2, 3 more. So 18. This is what happens when you've never made one before and you're like, I'm guessing. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. 2. Last one. There's 3. That's all done. And then we'll use our black and cut 3 more pieces. We're almost done, I promise. Let's see. 18. And 18. And 18. I saved this guy just for you. I was like, should I do him in the private group? I was like, nah, let's throw him in the public group. It's too much fun to make. So we'll do these really quick and get all my dovetails on. Because then once we add the Deco mesh tubing, it should go quick. Don't want to pick up the pin. There's those. Do you guys think he turned out better than you anticipated? Hard to believe that it's on 2 Dollar Tree candy cane forms, right?
Guess that I put this live in my save video so I can go back when I'm ready to make it.
Exactly. And it will work whenever you need to cheat and you don't have a rail available. Because I think even the rails, the straight rails, are hard to find.
Once again, it's good to just share it to your own page.
It's hard for me to share it to my page. I just gotta go back and I know what the one was. I'm like, okay, it was a gingerbread girl. So I'll just go look up gingerbread. Gingerbread girl.
I just meant for the gals who are watching this, they can just share it to their own page.
So much easier. It's what I did when I first started. I shared videos that I was like, ooh, okay, so once I get that in, I don't want to like try to figure out who was that I watched do that. So I just would share them all on my page. And then when you get all your supplies in, you're good to go. Right side my ribbon.
Lydia, that's a good question. She said, what size are the Dollar Tree candy cane frames?
What do we say, 20.5 inches long?
Yeah, like 21 inches long. Yeah.
Yeah. It just depends on how you're measuring them. But they're not quite 21, but they're not quite 20, so I say they're kind of 20.5.
Right. Right.
Okay.
And you use the first section of each candy cane to tie into each other.
Yep. Okay. 2 more to go. Make sure his ribbons are all... See, and didn't the ribbon, stuffing the ribbon right in the middle worked perfectly to make him appear to be longer than what he is.
And popping out.
Yeah.
Joanne said really cute.
Thank you.
Jen said gorgeous. Linda said wonderful.
Okay. This way. I'm trying to alternate my ribbon, so I'm like alternating some of my bows. Like black on the left side, black on the right side, black on the left side. Just to try to make them a little bit different. Open up all those loops. Orange and black. Okay. Last one. He is a beast. Size-wise. But he's gonna look so fun on the door. I'm just hoping that our sunset won't be so orange. When I actually took pictures of the yarn one, it kind of came out looking chocolate brown instead of black because we had a yellow tinge to the sky. And I was like, well, that's not gonna work. So.
Yep, the styrofoam balls are just going right on the edges or ends of the pipe cleaners. You stick them right in.
Mm-hmm. And then you glue them.
Yep.
You glue them on so they don't come off.
So Deborah said, I found the ghost in Deco mesh and purchased through PayPal. Then I heard you say this ghost wreath was for sale, showing the mess and the ghost body. So now it shows sold. So I'm hoping it was me who bought to purchase this beautiful made-up ghost wreath. Please advise when you get time.
Oh, okay. You might be able to do that. I can't do it.
No, because I'm recording off of your phone.
Oh, okay. I will advise you. Okay, so in the area where it's the beware and the spooky and the eek, we're going to do 2 different colors of flex tubing. This is available at Craft Outlet, I believe. It's the orange and black. And then I also want to pop it with a little bit more black. So this black was from the Dollar Tree back when they still had really good Deco mesh tubing. Because this is the thicker, not the thin. So we're going to do both. And we're going to do, there we go. As soon as I find the end, we're going to do it's called like, it's just 2 loops on one side, 2 loops on the other. It's basically like a 3-inch tail. And then you just go 2 loops here, 2 loops here, 2 loops here, 2 loops here. And then you want to leave your tails as long as the loop is so that it has like this nice little bundle of black and orange flex tubing. And we're still going to leave our pipe cleaners and then again embellish those with the styrofoam balls. So you just need to cut them down so that you don't have these super long pipe cleaners. Oops. Orange.
Hi Lorraine, welcome. She said, hi, first time watching you. I love your wreaths. I heard you were talking about the gingerbread girl wreath. Where can I find that? She made that
I made it last year. I'm going to be making it this year. I already have her. I think the one I made last year was like really gingerbread. Like the Deco mesh I had was very gingerbread colored. It was brown, like a tan, a white, and a red. So very gingerbread-esque. This year I want to kind of add a little bit more green to her since she's going to be for Christmas. So I haven't quite, I'm finishing up Halloween. And then I will be working on fall and Christmas. So can't wait to show you what we're doing for fall. We're going to be doing a turkey wreath, which is different. I haven't made him before. And I can't wait to show you how he's going to turn out, because I haven't done him. And that's always scary when you're demoing one and you're like, what if it doesn't come out good? What if it looks really bad? Okay, and then I'll spin this around so you can kind of see what we've been doing. So here is the flex tubing. So I'm just adding that on top of the word ribbon, the spook, is it beware? Beware, spooky, eek, boo, or something like that. So they're about 2-inch loops. Because people go, well, how big are your loops? They're about 2 or 3 inches. So we're just putting these in bundles. So it's just more sparkle.
More depth.
Yeah, just more texture. I like adding a lot of different textures.
Pam said, I doubt you've ever made a bad wreath.
Oh, yes, I have.
She has.
I pulled them all apart.
Yep.
I pull them all apart. Sometimes you think what is a really good design and it may look good. And people are like, that's a great looking wreath. I'm just not into buying that. So then you just have to rethink your design. Like when we did a Deco mesh wreath for the pumpkin and wove Deco mesh through it. It looked cool, just nobody was interested in it. So you just pull it all apart, save the frame, do something different, and throw the Deco mesh away.
Lydia said, Mr. Turkey will be awesome. I haven't seen anything you've done turn out bad. You're amazing. Thank you, Lydia.
Thank you.
She is amazing.
Thanks, babe. Okay, that one is in there. Let us get inside. And we will finish these up. Orange.
And I know Kat likes to hurry up and finish as quick as she can, but because of the size of this thing, it's just taking her a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll well, could you have done that? Yeah, I guess I could have done half and said, we'll finish the other half when we're done. So, just have a few more to go. And then we just have one more thing to add to our ghost. And then we're good. And then we're done. And
so thanks for being patient and sticking with us.
Oop, that was a little long. Okay. 2. Orange. Black. Oops. Okay, there's that one. Always try to get them in there. 1, 2. 2 more. That's it. 2 more. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as the loops are. So here's 1.
Lydia said, I'm already in no hurry. I showered and in my jammies.
No. I'm going to be showered and in my jammies soon. I'll be like, woo! There's still a lot to do, though. Okay. Orange, black. Like a weird black. Okay. Spinning them around.
Last one, huh?
Last one. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to the end. Again here. Right in his side. Okay.
Like operation.
It is, right? orange, black. Okay, now let's fluff everything. Get rid of this. Thank you. Okay. Hold these down. And remove the lint or pin. Thank you. So he needs his little boo sign. So his little boo is going to kind of go up here. Just like so. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually remove the stick. Just like so. I am going to take some floral wire. Did we do floral wire last time? I really need to get this one. I'm going to look first. I'm going to get rid of all that. Okay. Let me fix his bow. Because his bow's only halfway. So he needs a full bow. He's got to have a complete bow. Okay. So it's going to go up here like so. So what does that look like? If I hold this,
I'm trying to see just because
I know. Let me know. I'm going to try to get him to stay. What does that look like to you?
What do you think, gals? Yeah, looks cute.
Just like that? Mm-hmm. His little boo. I just really hate gluing things on plush. It's just my pet peeve. I prefer to wire them in so that if they want to take them off, they can take them off. Let me think about that.
Yeah, probably wire it right underneath the ribbon.
Hang tight. Let me do this. This is where I was going with this. I gotta get it through his hand first.
It's great, it's adorable, it's gorgeous.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do it here. Usually when you get your 26 gauge wire.
Or 22.
Is this 22?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. It goes through fairly easy, just like that. And let us see what I can do about getting this under the bow part. That'll work out perfect. I prefer to wire everything in. That way if you don't like it, you can just snip it off. There's that. Now, so our ribbon doesn't keep coming undone because it's satin, we'll add a touch of glue. Let me put this right on top. Get all the ties down. There's this one. And this one. There we go. Okay. I'm just picky like that. That way if you don't like the boo, take the boo off. Okay. So let's put him up on the door. He's super easy to put up on the door because he has multiple different ways. It's kind of crooked. So there we go. Super fun bow. Super fun ghost. Let me do these. Okay. Fan them out. Gotta make good pictures. pictures, right?
But you know, just one door. You got to paint it black on one side and white on the other, and we just turn it around.
I just thought it would look better on a black door. So if you have a dark door, it looks great. If you have a white door, it's gonna look good. Okay, what do you guys think? Did it come out better than you had hoped? Super easy
I'm
design.
saying that's amazing. So my goodness, I'm gonna make it for sure.
Oh yeah, imagine if
Then
you
it said
took
that's
this to a
amazing.
craft fair, you guys would just, you know, even if you took a prop door with you, I just went to Lowe's, what is it, $45?
Yeah.
It's white. We left the white side white. We painted the other side dark, so we would have a 2 different tone door. And you can see this is an average outside door. This is not an interior door. So this is exactly the amount of space it's going to take when you put it on your own front door. So it's more long, less wide, but I think it has a pretty powerful impact. Hopefully your neighbors will love it. It won't scare kids away when they go trick-or-treating. So it's just a welcome, kind of fun design for your front door. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you'd love to join the private group, we'd love to have you. We just have, I think we have like 2 more business classes, and then we go full steam ahead with design beginning in August. And then it stays that way through mid-December. So tons of designs, tons of ideas. KatsCreationsNMore.com to sign up. You can go monthly or yearly, and you'll see that right when you get to the page. Other than that, thank you guys for joining me, and I will talk to you next Friday at 5. I'll talk to you guys then. Bye, everyone.